So I'm now going to talk about how the story sort of like fitted in well and attracted and addressed the audience. So the story that I'm incredibly proud of has to be the life story because it attracted everyone, like from old people who really didn't like youths, and then you had like young people who like the urban crew who like rap music and that, so it definitely attracted them. And I can say it was successful because when I was flicking through any questionnaires and that, there was quite a few comments on it, and like out of 10 on I think it was question 2 or 3 about which, how would you rate the story, from like 1 being awful and 2 being super amazing, the story actually got consistently between like 7 and 10, which is really good considering. So that went really well. And it also attracted like local people because he's local lad and like people will know him. And it definitely attracted like the major audience of like 16 to 25-year-olds because it was it like by someone our age, so it's going to attract people of our age. I feel like the main story, it just attracted everyone really because it's based on something that's like happening just like not just in Oldham, but we're relating it to Oldham because it's a community radio show. So like people from Rochdale or Manchester can like sort of identify what's happening in Oldham and they're like, yeah, that's happening in my area too. So it connected in that way to like different people in like different boroughs of Manchester. Because I like once again when I was looking at like my feedback, I can like the Tylers and that, and like a few other people like that who came from like Manchester and Rochdale, they like sort of noticed the fact and they really like the fact that it like that story can relate to different places. So that was really good. And like there's a lot of like superstores and obviously the economic downfall is affecting everyone. So I felt like that really, fitted in quite well. And also it didn't just attract like 16 to 25-year-olds like it was aimed to. It attracted everyone because everyone's affected by shops closing down because university students can't get jobs. Old people have been there since the shop was like open and then get to see the progression of it. So it obviously attracts them. So yeah, it definitely attracted the people it needed to attract and more. It was, I don't know why, but I think the Dr. Kershaw like one sort of, I don't know, I didn't expect much of it from like people of my age because when you say to someone, oh, someone's going to check up a mountain, that's not really interesting, I'd rather be watching Glee or something, or like if it was a celebrity doing it, I'd find it pretty epic. But I was like flicking through my tweets as you do, because that was like the main thing I had to do for evaluation 6 was to get a wider view. I was looking through, and then Aaron Yateman's popped up, and it actually said that he would be really interested in the track, and I thought that was really cool because someone my age actually being interested in a trek up a mountain is pretty awesome. So yeah, it did attract like people of my age group, obviously, like people like Adam, and it obviously attracts older people because they like things like that. And yeah, so my stories definitely did attract the people. And then like the language we used to address it, it was very formal but basic. It wasn't like complex. We didn't use big words that no one could understand. We just used basic terms, and like we didn't overload everyone with terms because when you overload people with terms, they just go nah and they turn off. So we just kept it like we did with 3C's: concise, clear, and correct. So we did that quite well. So the language was dead easy to understand, and like it sort of just attracted everyone. I didn't really attract people, but it was like it was just on the same level. So like anyone could access it if that makes any sense. So the language was definitely another point, which is really good. And I think the style of our presenting in that, because like when you say specialist reporter and that, I don't know, it makes them want to read on because or listen on even because radio yourself, so you can't read the radio yourself. It makes them want to listen on because if you've got a specialist reporter out, that is pretty epic. When you've got like a music reporter out interviewing like a music artist and that's also pretty epic too. So yeah, and like the variety we had in like interviews, like for our main story we had like 3 interviews with people that obviously will be known in Oldham, like the fishmonger. Your mums and dads probably go to the fishmonger, the veggie man. Everyone has probably walked past that veggie man before saying the makeup lady. I mean, most girls of in Oldham know that that's the place to go to get really cheap makeup and that, so it attracted me in that way. Then with the Dr. Kershaw representative, it sort of it gives us a clearer like message about what was going on, and because it was over the phone, it gives it that bit of an edge. And then with Viper's interview, because it was outside and that, give it a bit more of an edge as well, because it's just a different way of like interviewing. It wasn't the stereotypical let's sit in a room and interview. I would do it outside, you know, in like the area they felt comfortable in. So that was awesome. And yeah, I think we've done quite well in attracting people.